Simpson would have it there.
Yeah, for sure he would. So this is the latest Honor device, the Magic 6 Pro, and it's got some pretty cool features in it, including one which I demonstrated in a short video, which you guys may have seen. This thing has some battery technology that I haven't seen before and could have implications for other devices, including electric cars, and their performance in situations that are not ideal, like extreme heat or extreme cold. The display on here is 6.8 inches. It is, of course, a flagship device. Here you get your first glimpse at the camera section. Obviously dominates the rear of the device. Also, I notice immediately we have some pretty sleek curves. So even though it is a 6.8 inch device, they're utilizing this design in order to make it feel smaller in your hand than it actually is. That's one of the more aggressive waterfalls that I've seen recently. A speaker over there as well. So we're probably gonna get a stereo speaker effect, a periscope style camera, as well as our main unit, 180 megapixel periscope telephoto camera. The 100 times that they're referencing is of course digital zoom. There is 2.5 times optical. You've also got a 50 megapixel main camera, that's f1.4 to f2, has optical image stabilization. You've got a 50 megapixel ultra wide, so that's a ton of pixels for your ultra wide camera. So also in the package, they've included a SIM tool as well as it looks like a case. It's a simple clear case, USB-C cable, and then here's the charger. Whoa, 100 watt Honor Supercharge power brick. So you don't need to pick up a third-party power brick in this case. This 100 watt is gonna do your laptop, your phone, your tablet, pretty much anything. First off, it's a 5600 milliamp hour battery, which is bigger than a lot of devices in this space. You're more frequently seeing something like 5000. This is a second generation silicon carbon battery, and that's the technology that makes this thing capable of lasting even in extreme climates. And you might be saying, well, what is the significance of that? It's not minus 20 where I am. It's because they're pushing into a space where this battery tech may actually trickle into other devices that really could use that durability from a research and development perspective. So there are big implications there. Also, there are practical applications. Not everybody lives in the same environment or exposes their device to extreme climate, but some people do, and they can obviously benefit from this second generation tech. This thing is going to charge at a maximum of 80 watts on the wire. Then it's also got 66 watt charging capability wirelessly. So let's jump into the camera section here. You'll see a pretty familiar space, as well as your camera versatility here from 0.5 to 1 and 2.5, and then the 5x is also a quick toggle. 2.5 is where your optical stops, but that's still quite a bit of flexibility. Why don't you get that Tesla car there? Got a little bit dinged up. World's first look at the new Tesla Roadster unreleased. 1x. Whoa. Here we can get a sense for that versatility. Wow, even at 0.5, look at that, that's cool. Almost looks like the real thing. 5x zoom, 2.5, which is where the optical ends. That's still pretty slick. Here we have our main camera, so that's the 1x, and then check out the ultra wide. Whew, that is wide. So here we have their 0.5 setting, and obviously plenty of pixels given the fact that you've got 50 megapixels. This little button over here is called motion sensing capture. And the idea here is that when you have something that's fast moving, sports or your dog, this is going to look for that motion and then hit it with an extremely fast capture in order to sort of freeze that moment, similar to like a fast shutter speed. You want to just jump up in the air, Jack? Yeah, it got it.
Oh yeah.
Actually, pretty cool.
That is pretty cool.
Can you see that?
Yeah.
It looks like you're jumping way higher than you actually did.
Yeah.
Just because the way this room is. But that would be hard for me to get, right? I have to be like, ba, 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 ba. Versus, in this case, it automatically sensed that you were jumping and you got the shot. What's kind of nice here is that it didn't need to snap like 100 photos. It just needed one. So I'm not having to go through now and look at 15 different moments captured. Instead, it nailed it, and now I just have one photo in there. Enabling auto capture will automatically capture highlights of smiling, running, and jumping people, as well as cats and dogs. So there you go. That's what it's currently programmed for. So that's a cool little feature. They showed off fencing in their demo. I don't know the exact limitations of this particular capture, but it's pretty cool. If I jump over to video mode, we are currently set up 21:9 4K 60 frames. We can, of course, dial that back to 30 or 24. There's also a movie mode. It can shoot log, actually. And of course, there's also pro mode in there. This is for photos, and it's gonna give you control over exposure, ISO, your aperture, if you prefer to work in that way. There's a light painting feature. There's a super macro. Whoa. That can focus pretty close. That can actually focus quite close. There's a multi-video mode, which lets you capture the front and back camera. We've seen this before. What does AI do for me? So in this case, you can see if we go with our trusty plant in AI mode, it knows that that's greenery, and it makes the necessary adjustments to showcase color and exposure and things that are specific to greenery. All right, let's do our video sample 4K 60. So this is a 4K 60 frame per second video. There's Jack on the camera today. Headphones off. Where's he going? Oh, he's gonna show us some Casper speed. Here we go.
Let's go.
There goes the not so much for Casper.
Go get it.
He's not convinced. Whoa. There he goes. Kickflip.
Eat my shorts.
Eat his shorts. Kickflip.
Eat my shorts.
Eat his shorts. So there's something on here called AI Instant Movie, and I'm curious. I'm gonna see what it does. I think the music is not necessarily the right choice. It found the action. There goes the not so much for kids, not convinced. Whoa. The speakers on here, the stereo speakers are legit. You can hear through this microphone. Wow. Okay, so let's talk a little bit more about the specs on this device. It's IP68 rated for both water and dust resistance. That display that I mentioned, 6.8 inches, 120 hertz smart refresh. That's a dynamic refresh in order to preserve your battery life. 5,000 nits peak HDR brightness. The resolution 2800 by 1280 for an effective PPI of 453. The chip that they've gone for, Snapdragon 8 Gen 3, and it's got 12 gigs of RAM and 512 storage. So this device has something called Magic Portal, and it allows you to highlight different aspects of your content and then share it in different ways. It will scan the entire page and look for items that might be important to you, things like images as well as text. Maybe it's even a recipe. Then you can take that and put it straight into Notes without launching a separate app. You just drag it to the right-hand side of the screen, you see your list of apps, and you go ahead and drop it in there. Now this can work for things like Notes, but it can also work for destinations that you can directly drop into Google Maps, or it can work for shopping where you can take an item that you want to have identified or you want to check a price on, and you can drop it straight into eBay or Amazon. Now I can't show you all of those aspects right now since I don't have the global version of the device, but just imagine that this right pane is populated by a variety of apps that you have on your phone. Let's test out this 100 watt fast charge. Well, 80 watt. The charger's 100 watt. It's kind of cool. They give you more capacity on the charger than the device even currently uses because they know you're probably going to use this with your laptop as well. So check it out. By default, I plug it in 97%. So obviously this isn't the fastest portion. Long press to boost the charging speed. Boom. Supercharge activated. Basically makes this one of the fastest charging devices that we've actually featured here. So when you combine 5600 milliamp hour battery with extremely fast charging, you end up with a device that's gonna have battery life most of the time. So that's a brief look at the new Honor Magic 6 Pro. This is their domestic model. International models will come later, so the amount with which I can actually demonstrate is kind of limited by that. We're also gonna have a giveaway for one of these devices over on X, formerly known as Twitter. I'll put the details in the description of this video. And also, we're gonna have a video coming up, a short actually, on some exclusive features this device will have that aren't gonna be shown off until MWC, so be on the lookout for that.